Brief news item here. I know you're not the biggest TNA fan, but this was trending worldwide only a couple of hours ago. Samoa Joe, who's been with the company for the last 10 years, has left the company after his contract expired. No new indication as to where he might be going, but what are your thoughts on Samoa Joe leaving TNA?
I could care less.
I'll rephrase that question. Where do you think he's going to end up?
He's probably going to New Japan with AJ Styles, probably.
Probably, yeah. Because someone was asking me before, because I put out a tweet shortly after it happened, in that I would like to see him in WWE at this stage of his career. Though I think we've talked about it here on the show before. I don't think they would utilize him the way that he deserves to be utilized, and that he was so talented when he was undefeated for maybe like a year or so in TNA, like a decade or something like that. For a decade ago, he was undefeated for about a year. He was so hot in his feud with Kurt Angle and like back in 06, 07, 08. But in the last couple of years, this guy has done nothing, and I don't really blame him. I mean, he's a little more out of shape than he was 10 years ago. But still, though, they have completely marginalized the guy for the last couple of years. There is no worth in Samoa Joe. Would it be cool? Like, maybe they would have brought him in like 5 years ago to do a thing with Umaga or something like that. A Samoa Joe versus the Samoan Bulldozer. I don't know. But it would have been cool. I think it's way past his time in WWE. And when someone asked me about it this past afternoon on Twitter, I said that if they were going to bring him in, I think there's a lot less likely chance of them bringing him in if they weren't even going to consider bringing in AJ Styles, who he was, after his TNA contract expired in late 2013, there was a lot of speculation where he might end up. Is he going to New Japan? Could WWE take a look at him? And they didn't even bother. Like he said himself, they didn't even bother taking a look at him, which is, to me, is asinine. I know the guy's like 30-something years old, but if they're going to take a look at guys like Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, a.k.a. Kenta, I think AJ Styles could work in NXT as well. But what are your thoughts?
I'm looking through it right now. He was in ROH, so I think they could sign him to maybe he'd go NXT.
Samoa Joe? Oh, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
I think they would have to obviously repackage him. They're not going to get him under the Samoa Joe name, obviously. That they would not let that happen. Because Kevin Owens, they had changed his name. Everyone changed their name, so they're going to have to do that because it's all trademark and copyright stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it'd be nice to see him come in. I think if he went to NXT, it'd bring him more fans in. I think it'd bring way more fans in.
Absolutely.
They had Samoa. I don't know how utilized he'd be on the main roster, but I think.
Well, you could say that about anybody down in NXT right now. You never really know until they're brought up.
Exactly. I don't know. I think he's 35. He's not too old yet, I guess. Hopefully, I'd like to see him in NXT, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but I think the thing is that with Kevin Owens, I am so surprised and a little bit shocked that, along with Finn Balor too, but more so Kevin Owens, is that he's a guy who made a name for himself on the indies, in ROH, not even in like a Japanese company or anything like that. I mean, granted, you have guys like Punk, Bryan, Rollins, Sami Zayn, all these other guys from Ring of Honor who have been successful in the WWE, specifically NXT, ECW, whatever. And Kevin Owens is the same kind of deal, and they've allowed him to keep his character, keep his mainstream fans from Ring of Honor, and be himself from Ring of Honor. Like the whole Kevin Owens shtick that we saw last week on TakeOver was exactly what you would have seen in a Ring of Honor, to a lesser extent, 10 years ago. So I'm so happy they're allowing him to be the beast that he truly is. With Samoa Joe, I think it's a little bit different. There might be, I can't confirm, this is all speculation, that there might be some spite there with him being from TNA. He's a TNA guy. He's been there for 10 years. And that, you go down the list of people who came over from TNA, more often than not, they are not the most successful people. Christian, I know he's a former World Heavyweight Champion. They pushed him for a while in 2011, but aside from that, he was a glorified mid-card guy. R-Truth became, he was doing pretty well for himself in TNA. Came over back to WWE, he was there before as K-Quick. Came back over as a happy-go-lucky black rapper, so that happened to R-Truth. Booker T, same exact thing. Well, he never wrestled, but I know what you mean. After he came back from TNA, Kevin Nash, same thing. Karma, I mean, it wasn't really, that was all bad timing.
It was all bad timing.
That was pregnancy. But Xavier Woods is a prime example. Consequences created. The guy, he was over.
I watched TNA back then. He was over, but
he wasn't like a mainstream
exactly.
star.
You make him seem like
no, but he was a very talented dude, and now he's in the New Day.
Yeah,
and that could be said.
He's talented, but WWE looks for stars. He's not a star. That's the issue.
That's true. But it's still, though, I think the point still stands. There has not been one person, to my memory, to my mind, that has come from TNA over to WWE, regardless of whether they were there before or not, that has been pushed to the level that they should have been or could be, like main event status. Like, no one comes to mind.
But do you think any of them should have been in main event status? Do you think R-Truth should be in the main?
Oh, no, absolutely not. But
you're naming all these people. I don't think any of them should have been in the main event scene.
But R-Truth, like we saw in 2011, could have been something as a heel. He was a heel over in TNA. You look his promos up on YouTube, Ron Killing's TNA, whatever. He teamed with Road Dogg for a while, whatever. But he had some really good work. He's a former NWA champion. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a former world champion or WWE champion in WWE.
He was a tag team in TNA with Pac-Man Jones.
Yes.
Is it just them two, right? There's someone else too, I think, right?
Road Dogg was they had a little thing going.
Yeah, alright. I'm trying to think.
But yeah, aside from that though, they could have pushed him, instead of having him come back in as the rapper, you know what I mean? They could have pushed him as that. Not as a main event star, but like I said, I don't know. It's because there might have been many factors, but I think because the fact that he's a TNA guy, they never,
they probably just want like the perception to be a WWE guy. They want to take someone from the other company, pretty much.
Yeah, and well, I mean the point still stands. I think it specifically applies to TNA because Ring of Honor, you have guys like Rollins, Zayn, Owens, even who Triple H is kind of more high on him. That's why they're pushing him to the moon down there, and rightfully so. But they don't bury people from New Japan or wherever else, or Ring of Honor. It's more so, I don't know. I just maybe a TNA thing. I don't know. And this isn't an anti-TNA rant by any means, but I don't know. I just look at it.
I just think I think the talent that they're like considering, like you're thinking of like a Daniel Bryan or Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn compared to R-Truth Christian at the end of his career.
True.
And then
there was also, if you remember him, Lance Hoyt, a.k.a. Vance Archer, who went nowhere in WWE.
And then they signed, there's someone else that they signed
TNA? In the last couple of years?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name.
Not Xavier Woods, their Consequences Creed.
Oh my god, I know his name and I can't think of it right now.
What part of TNA was he from? Like what
I think he was a tag team. I can't think of his name right now. I want to say, I need to look it up. I can't think of his name. He was a tag team. It was like 2009, 2010.
Not Kazarian, right? Kazarian too was in TNA for a while.
No, it's not Kazarian. I know the guy I'm thinking of. And he went back to TNA too. And he tagged teamed Matt Hardy. I don't know what his name is.
Oh, Brandon Walker. Braden Walker, a.k.a. not Chris Hero. Chris something.
Yes,
what was it?
You know who I'm talking
I know exactly who you're talking about. But no, I think that's another excellent example in that he was a guy that had a lot of potential in TNA when he was first teaming with James Storm as a part of the American Wild tag team.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
America's Most Wanted. That's exactly who it was. And they never did anything with him. They brought him in as a part of ECW. You're dead from the start from that point. And, I guess he was a little bit out of shape, but still, that's another example of a guy that had a lot of potential in TNA, was looked at as the next big thing, got signed by WWE.
Chris Harris, the Wildcat.
Chris Harris is exactly
Beer
what his
Money.
name is. Beer Money. No, not Beer Money. That's Bobby Roode. I think it was America's Most Wanted,
yeah,
right?
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, that's what it was. But,
that's what it is. Wildcat Chris Harris.
A.K.A. Braden Walker.
Picture, he's way overweight in this picture.
Yeah, in WWE, he was way overweight. So maybe it was... he only had like 2 matches. And if you type it on YouTube, Braden Walker 3-disc DVD set or Hall of Fame, if you watch it on YouTube, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's hysterical. But yeah, Samoa Joe, like you said, I'm with you on that. When I see him going back to either New Japan or Ring of Honor, the current crop of talent they have over there right now, I think could be phenomenal in terms of matches that Samoa Joe could have with those guys. Would be cool to see him in WWE, like I think we both agreed on. In that, I don't see it being very likely. It would be awesome with the guys that they have down in NXT. I don't see it happening, but it would be cool. Maybe like if they were in Philly this year, I think would have been perfect for like a brief one-over or a one-off AJ Styles appearance or something like that, a Samoa Joe one-off. They don't have to sign with the company. It would be cool if we at least got one appearance from Samoa Joe.
I'd like to see AJ Styles in WWE. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I know. I don't see it happening either, especially at this point in his career. But he's having some of the best matches of his career right now and over in New Japan. If you watched the New Japan pay-per-view at the start of the year on January 4th, I forgot what it was called, but I watched it though, and he had an excellent match. I forgot what his name was. He was one of the Japanese guys.
Obviously.
So, yeah, I don't watch.
AJ Styles is one of the people that got me interested in TNA. I always loved his entrance.
He was great. He was
great. I think, obviously, like you said, I don't think he'll ever amount to much in WWE because, like, he's the TNA guy.
Yeah,
and then they have to redo his name, so it won't be AJ Styles.
Exactly.
It's what it is.
Exactly. So I don't see it happening, but it would have been cool, though. It's more one of those what-if situations as opposed to if he came. I'd rather see him, do his thing and enjoy what he's doing over in Japan as opposed to coming in and hating his job for losing to guys like Yoshitatsu or something. Yoshitatsu's the go-to guy, even though he's not under contract anymore.
Freaking AJ Styles broke Yoshitatsu's neck.
He did? Oh my god, look at the connection there. Holy shit, look at that. But, still, I think he's better off in Japan along with Samoa Joe.